So I just wanted to live in Iceland so badly that I was willing to do like whatever it took. I came in 2018 with my cousin because everybody was going, so I had to check it out. And I just fell in love with the country. I was like, wow, there is so much adventure here. I'll never see it all in one trip. I'll never see it all in 2 trips. Like I have to live here. I'm just going to have to move here. I shockingly had a life. I had a 9-to-5 job, an apartment with my friends. My whole family lived in the area and I grew up there, and I didn't want to leave. I was never like looking to leave Boston, but I fell so in love with Iceland and with the idea that I would one day look back on the best years of my life and have not done really cool things. And I was very worried about that. And I sold everything that I had. And then I packed 3 massive suitcases and hopped on a one-way ticket to Iceland.
Then you land in Iceland and you're like, okay, I want to be here. And as I understand, you just apply for tons of jobs and you get like rejected 100 times.
So that's exactly right. I just wanted any job in Iceland. I didn't care what it was. I was like, I need to just live here and I'll take any job. And I couldn't even get a job like cleaning bathrooms and bedrooms in a hotel.
What happens when you get this job? You're thrilled, you put in all this work, you move across the world, and then what happens?
I got a job and they were super excited to hire me. They had already hired a Canadian. So they're like, we know all of this stuff. It's gonna be so easy, no problem. And then on the same day that I got, the offer, the whole 2-week lockdown and COVID started to really become a thing. And like there was a travel ban set from Europe to the US. So the same guy just a few hours later was like, hey, just heard about this COVID thing, whatever that is, but it should be 2 weeks long and we'll just pick up in 2 weeks again. So I'll just give you a call. And there was everyone in the travel industry basically lost their jobs here in Iceland. So there was no way I was going to be a glacier guide.
It's COVID, it's a pandemic, travel industry. No one can foresee this. There's nothing wrong with just like going home to Boston at this point. Did you consider that?
I was going to live in Iceland. I was so determined. There was no plan B for me. I just said, we're going to figure it out no matter what. When I was applying for all these jobs and couldn't get anything, I was like, what are my other options here? I was a consumer of TikTok and Instagram. And I really liked these vlogs that people were putting out that I had I don't know anything about, the being a flight attendant, but people were like posting their daily lives as a flight attendant. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting. That's like the only thing I know. So I'm going to do that here in Iceland. I'll just post up my daily life and talk about how it is here.
And how are those first posts like?
My first posts only have probably a couple 100,000 views, not 100,000, just maybe thousands of views, but they were like pretty decent, and each video got more and more views. And I think what was most compelling at that time is that I lived in Iceland and like you couldn't travel, like everybody was stuck at home. And so it's very interesting that I lived in Iceland and people wanted to know more about that. And this is like the time where nobody knows how to make these short form videos at all. They're like today there's so many good apps and so many good features in these apps to make videos. There was nothing really like that before. There was very few options. It took me like 2 hours to make my first vlog, and it was like, looking back, it's like really funny, but I told myself, well, the more you edit videos, the better you're going to get and the faster you'll get. So you have to edit a video every single day, and you can edit a vlog every day because that's content. You live a life and you just talk about it.
What was the nature of the post that was sort of like your first, like really like big piece of content?
My first reel in September of 2020 and posted that. And I think my first like super viral video that brought in like hundreds and thousands of followers was in December. It went like crazy viral. I thought that something was wrong. I thought like I was like, oh my God, I broke TikTok. Like what is that? I don't know where this was coming from. What is happening? Like I'm being punked. And the same thing happened on Instagram. So that's when, like, okay, people are interested about Iceland. Like they really want to know about what's happening in Iceland. Maybe less about me, like some about me, but like, okay, I found the interest here. And then in 2022, I made a vow that every video I make is going to be for a person coming to Iceland. I'm going to make a video talking to a tourist who's going to come to Iceland. And that's when like you really niched down and found the one person that you were talking to. That's when everything exploded. Like it was pretty like steadily growing up until then, but when I found kind of my voice right there and just really like stuck to it, even if I thought it would be boring or I wasn't really interested in doing that at the time.
Why do you think it helped to like focus in sort of like, I don't know, marketing language, they would say it's like a persona. Like who's my persona target audience, and let me make it just for that. Some people would say, oh, that limits your audience.
Some people do say that, but everyone who does it has a lot of success. So I think when you just really find what is working and you just like keep going and the consistency about it, when people get to know you and know the value that you bring, they're going to keep coming back. And I think that that's why, like, I wasn't just some girl that lived in Iceland. It was like, this girl knows everything about Iceland and we're going to follow her. So they always knew what they were getting when they came to my page, instead of just, it wasn't random at all. Like I was very like serious about just teaching people and educating people on Iceland and what they should do and having the best trip ever. It's again, a country I still love. So I wanted to just share that love with other people, make sure that they're getting the exact trip that they should have so that they also fall in love with this country.
Did you feel like I'm creating value here? Like this is like because of how interesting it was?
I think it's just showing people things that they don't know. And maybe you're inspiring people to also get out in the world. They don't have to necessarily come to Iceland, but just to know that there's more out there. Like there's all this stuff in the world that you don't even know exists. Like you should maybe go and travel or check it out. Whether it's Iceland or not, I don't care, but it's probably adding the value in your life that you need to get out and see the world and not just be at home. If you care and you try hard enough, then you'll get there. But I think sometimes what holds a lot of people back is also that they're just limiting themselves, and there's something in the back of their mind saying that it's not a priority. You have to make it a priority. If it's not a priority, it's not going to happen. This has to be your whole life.